Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Friday. Got an amazing one here for you. And I got Jimmy the Maverick on with me as well. We are talking about the top 10 bust-proof players, the safest, the most ironclad players you could draft for fantasy football 2024. This is an amazing show because you want, in a world of uncertainty in fantasy football, you want some security. And these players are it. Welcome to the show, Jim. I'm ready to dive into players that are ironclad and bust-proof. What's happening, man?
Hey, not much is happening. Happy to be here. Let's talk about these players.
Yeah, man, excited to dive in. There isn't much in the news, so we're going to skip that today. I think there was just some tweet on the news, something on, I was just listening on news, that A.J. Brown tweeted that he wants to get some sort of wide receiver assembly camp together. I think the tight ends do it in other positions. He wants to get them all together. So A.J. Brown tweeted, "What's up, wide receivers? I like all you guys. Let's get together." And then Tyreek Hill replied and said, "Hey, man, let's get it. Let's get it together." So this might be an event, man. The wide receivers getting together to kind of show off their skills and work together. Something interesting. Just wanted to bring it up, you know?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. let them train each other, work each other. Because I know, it's a group, right? The wide receivers are a collective group, and then you got the corners. They're their own people because they're kind of against the wide receivers. So interesting, man. They want to come together. Everybody wants to come together, Jim. Really nice.
Hey, that's good for us, good for America. Let's do it.
Good for fantasy as well, because then they're just becoming better players. All right, let's go to these bust-proof players. Before we do, guys, make sure you guys grab the 16-round draft solution. Use code SMASH to save. Honestly, guys, this is going to give you an ironclad roster, a backup plan for a backup plan. It's a video training with my notes and a printable cheat sheet and full mock drafts. Everything you guys need. Once you create an account and you get 60 rounds, you're going to get a login, get access to all my sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, draft, draft. This is going to put you light years ahead of the sheep. Grab 16 rounds now. And of course, Jim, smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up. I want to make this interactive. Who is your ironclad bust-proof player? Drop it below. Drop a name. Love to get your feedback and let us know what you guys think of ours. I guess I'll start off with mine here. You should always let the guest go first, but I'm just going with the order that we kind of talked about here. The guy that I love is Bijan Robinson. Absolutely love him. Round 1 ADP. If there's anybody I'm looking at in round 1, it's him. And the simple question is, why? Well, last year he was held back, Jim. He was held back significantly by Arthur Smith. They gave Algier way too many attempts, 186 for that matter. And Bijan was held to 214 attempts, 976 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, and 4 touchdowns. 214 attempts, Jim, when he was held back. And I watched a lot of footage on this guy. I went back and watched the highlights. Bijan is absolutely amazing. He's dynamic. He's quick. The vision he's elusive. He's explosive. He is he's the definition of what it's like to be a true workhorse running back in a league where they're going away from it. I love him. I think he's the safest pick in round 1. And when you look at players, you got to look at trending, and he's 100% trending upwards. No less than 250 attempts for Bijan Robinson this year. An absolute must draft and as bulletproof and bust-proof as you can get. Thoughts, Jim, on that?
Yeah, I was reading this one thing that was very interesting that last season, apparently, Arthur Smith only gave him 3 carries inside the 5-yard line.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. And, when I talk about the value of running backs, it's the goal line work and it's the receiving work. His receiving work was fine. He had 86 targets last year. That was fantastic. But I'm looking that this guy is going to take the goal line. He's going to take over the goal line. Kirk Cousins is not any threat on the goal line. So it's going to be Bijan that he hands it off to. So, yeah, I definitely see more high-value touches for him as well. More than just the volume, it's the high-value touches that he's going to get more of this year. Of course, Algier is still there. I still like Algier as not a handcuff, but again, if I don't take Bijan, I like to grab Algier late. But, I think he's going to be great this year. Certainly he's going to live up to his expectations. He was disappointing last year, but I think this year he does live up to his expectations.
And what I tell everybody is that we know the animal that we're up against here. We don't know what some of these other guys are up against, like in regards to committees. There's a lot of new players, rookies drafted in situations like, for example, Kyron Williams. We don't know. Blake Corum could absolutely come in and just tear it up. and it destroys the value of Kyron Williams. Like, we don't know. With Bijan, we know Algier sucks. We know that Bijan is the alpha there, and there's a significant gap in regards to talent in the favor of Bijan. That's why I love him so much. We know what we're going to get. He's only improved on last year, considering how bad he was. You talk about that goal line work. Still finished as a top 10 running back. He finished 9th in PPR with 246 points. Man, oh man, the sky's the limit. Unleash him. And he's better than, almost equal to, or just as good as Jahmyr Gibbs, but you don't have to contend with Montgomery. Dude, I'm all over it. All right, let's move on to your next guy here, Jim. This is your guy, Mr. Travis Kelce, who's coming in at a little bit of a discount this year, right?
That's why I like him so much. I mean, think about it. For the past 5 years, if you wanted him, you'd have to take him at the end of the first round, beginning of the second. That's where he was always going. And this year, he's a 4th round player. 4th round to get the number 1 receiver on the team with the best quarterback in the league. I mean, come on. This is a no-brainer here. I usually don't take elite tight ends. I usually bypass that. I go for the elite quarterback instead. Right. But if I'm sitting in the 4th round and he is on the board, I'm going to be very tempted to take him there, because I think there's no way he doesn't return positive value at that sort of draft position. I mean, I know people are drafting Sam Laporta ahead of him, and I love Sam Laporta, and he's young, but he's not even the number 1 receiver on his team. Kelce is. So take the number 1 guy, and I think you'll be fine. He's going to bounce back this year. He's going to be he has the best connection with Patrick Mahomes. They brought in a bunch of other receivers in Kansas City. I'm not worried about them taking away anything from Kelce. He's still the number 1. So
it's amazing how people jump off a guy so quickly. I mean, he had probably one of his worst years numbers wise. I mean, 219 points compared to 316 the year before, 262 the year before, and 312 the year before that. So out of the past, actually, this is one of his worst years since, I would say 2016, 219 points. The last time he had that low was 189 in 2015. So he's been consistent. He's been ironclad. He's been safe every single year, Jim. And again, you're getting him at a bit of a discount. So he said he's ready to play. He says, I'm coming out. I'm going to play hard. They're looking for a three-peat. They've improved that offense. Mind you, they've got some other options at receiver. They got Hollywood Brown, which I'm not really concerned about too much. Yeah, Kelce's still the one. Rashee Rice is going to be suspended for a bit. They got Worthy there. They got Pacheco is solid. It's a good offense, man. So I don't know. It's safe. And again, we're talking about ironclad, bust-proof. And what I like is the fact that he was down last year. I kind of like that, because now he's going to be trending upwards. It was a down year. He's going to bounce back. I talked about this with Tim yesterday with Pat Mahomes. We're going to talk about it in a second again when we get to Pat Mahomes. There's a spoiler alert right there.
All right, yeah, and I'm sorry, just one more thing I want to add. Even though it was like his worst year since 2015, he was still the number 2 tight end. Still the number 2. So, don't even worry about it. He's still playing at a high level. His brother played for, is 2 years older than him, was played in the NFL last year. I think he's got the DNA, he's got the genes to be a durable, but we've already seen him be a durable product. But I mean, this guy has the longevity in his genes. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about his age either. So
I want to stand corrected. In PPR last year, I got Evan Ingram finishing ahead of him with 230 points, Jim. So number 3 tight end last year. Stand corrected.
Oh, okay. If it was full PPR, yeah. I was looking at half PPR. So
okay, sounds good. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the next guy here. I love Breece Hall. I just have kind of a couple of small objections to him, really. He's going to be the workhorse, and a good indication of that is last year he was a little not banged up, but he was just coming off that knee injury, so he was kind of eased in. They brought in Dalvin Cook. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, why bring in washed up Dalvin Cook when you got the beast there? And sure enough, Dalvin Cook was held to like 67 attempts. Like, he was really held back. A guy that has always demanded the ball in his entire career in Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall held him at bay. And that is a good indicator that the Jets believe in him, and they want to win this year. I mean, how many years does Aaron Rodgers have? Assuming Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they got Garrett Wilson, who's going to be amazing. Breece is going to eat. Now, my only concern is, and some people say, don't worry, and I get it, and they're comparing him to A.J. Dillon, but A.J. Dillon just completely sucks. I hate that you're comparing this kid to A.J. Dillon, but Braylon Allen is there. I think he's added as a depth piece. I think he will steal some goal line work from time to time and give Breece Hall a breather. Man, they've got 2 beasts there, man. 2 animals. It's going to be just unbelievably wild with these two. Again, I just don't know how much usage if any, Braylon Allen's going to get. That's kind of my only hindrance. And of course, the injury in the past, a little bit of a concern. So barring any injury and a Braylon Allen, pesting of goal line work, Breece Hall is absolutely bulletproof. I mean, there's really, knock on wood, nothing that's going to stop this guy from tearing it up. 2 years now removed from his knee surgery. Dude, I'm excited about this guy.
Yeah, and let's not forget it's also a contract year for him. So we've got that working in the positive direction. And last year, I'm just amazed. When you think about last year, he was the RB4 on one of the worst offenses in the NFL. And really also when you think about it, he didn't really play a whole lot in like the first 6 weeks. Like the first week he came out, he did a lot, but then you didn't see him for like over a month. He didn't do much at all. It was mostly Dalvin Cook. But then when he came in and took over, man, to have 318 opportunities with the ball, 223 touches, 95 targets. That's a fantastic volume of targets. I mean, this guy is set up to be the number one running back. I mean, this is just like a perfect situation. I'm very, very much in on Breece Hall this year, and I think he's going to do great.
Yeah, like I said, just based on last year being eased in, didn't really scratch the surface. 223 attempts, under 1,000 yards. This guy should add over 1,000, 5 touchdowns, and he still managed somehow finishing, like I said, 290 points. And again, he made up in the receptions, the 76 receptions, 594 yards. Like that's where he made it up. But man, oh man, there's just so much ceiling to be had here with Breece Hall. So much.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be great. So.
All right, your next guy, and I would say it's biased because you do have a Chiefs jersey behind you. But your next guy, Pat Mahomes, I mean, I can't argue it. Like, safe as they come, right?
Yeah, I mean, with Mahomes, buy the dip, right? I mean, he had an off year last year. The offense was a little bit underwhelming. But come on, it's Patrick Mahomes. And if there's any quarterback, any pocket quarterback in the NFL that can get you 40 touchdowns, it's Mahomes. So just go with that. Play the discount. He's like currently the 5th quarterback coming off the board, usually in the 5th round. And I would be absolutely perfectly content to have him as my QB1. I mean, that would just give me a real feeling of security. Right. Last year, one of his worst seasons so far, he was still the QB7. So we've kind of seen his floor. And I think this offense has added pieces around him to help him out. They added Hollywood Brown, they added Xavier Worthy. Isaiah Pacheco has really come on this past year, has taken a bigger passing load for the offense. I mean, again, there's no negatives I can see here as to why you wouldn't want Patrick Mahomes on your team. And he always has top 3 QB upside, always.
How about Kadarius Toney? Are we forgetting about him? Kadarius.
I have completely forgotten about Kadarius Toney. I didn't even know he was still on the team.
I think everybody has. So they've made some upgrades for sure. Pat Mahomes, safe as they come. I just feel that my next guy here, we'll roll right into him, is CJ Stroud. Just feels a little bit safer, a little more upside with him. And a big part of that is because of his offense. First of all, he did really, really amazing as a rookie. And second of all, now he's settled in, and they've given him amazing weapons in this offense, man. He's got 3 wide receiver ones. He came out and said, I have 5 wide receiver ones, man. Dude, he is absolutely primed to have an amazing season. Now, again, you're lacking a little bit of, a lot of rushing upside, only 39 attempts rushing and 3 touchdowns rushing. But I think that's a good thing. So if he's throwing the ball a lot, what do you have? 23 touchdowns. That's definitely going up. He's definitely going to be in the 30 to 35 range touchdowns as a floor. That's going up. You're preserving your body a little bit. We saw Lamar Jackson for years get hurt. And that's a little bit of a concern with me this year again with Lamar. But yeah, I mean, I just like the fact that I like the passing quarterbacks, the CJ Strouds, the Herberts with a little bit of rushing upside. And he's just that perfect blend, man. And, Andrew Luck was a guy that I really liked when he came out back in 2012. He had a little bit of rushing to him, but he was a great passer. CJ Stroud kind of reminds me of him a little bit. Dude, I like him, man. And I love the weapons. And he's that one safe guy I feel warm and fuzzy about round 3 to 4. What do you think on Stroud?
Yeah, this is a team that is definitely built for a Super Bowl run this year. Again, they know they got their Last year, CJ Stroud showed him that he is their franchise quarterback.
Right.
And while he's on his cheap rookie deal, they are loading him up with talent. And before they brought in Stephon Diggs, I was kind of out on him. I thought he was being overdrafted. I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to be worth his value as basically the QB6 coming off the
Right.
board. But with the addition of Stephon Diggs, with the addition of Joe Mixon, plus his regular assets, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Dalton Schultz, excuse me. Yeah, Dalton
Yeah.
Schultz. We're talking this guy is set up to succeed. And does he have that 40 touchdown upside that I look for with
Sure.
the passing quarterback? Can he realistically get to 40? With this
Yeah.
team, he absolutely can get to 40 touchdowns. That makes him a top 3 quarterback upside. That makes me want to draft him. And again, he's going early round 6. So that is also just fantastic value.
I got him round 3. I got him as a round 3 ADP guy. I don't know what league you're in, but I was in a money league, man. And he comes up. I mean, it depends on your league, but I got him round 3. So
is this a league where a lot of quarterbacks came off early or?
it depends on the league, man. If you want him, you got to get him round 3 because he's going to be coming off early. I'm telling you right now. Like if you're in a competitive league and you want an ace quarterback, I don't know. I don't know what league you're looking at.
Well, I've been doing a lot of best ball, and I'm typically seeing him going off end of the 5th, beginning of the 6th. That's where he's coming off. Again, right after Patrick Mahomes. So, again, great value on those sort of drafts. I like him. I think he's great.
Let me look at his actual on the Kinsheepses here. Where is he coming off here? So 46 is his ADP. 46 to be exact. That's where the Kinsheepses have him right now. So 46 overall. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you're a best ball guy. I do standard snake draft, 12 person, 1 point PPR. So yeah, if you want them, I mean, like for example, round 3, if you don't get him and you got that turn coming back, if you're drafting early round 3, he's not coming back. So again, it's totally up to you guys. If you want the early price, and I don't mind getting them there because those guys those wide receivers between round 2 to 5 are a crapshoot. Like Nico Collins, like I don't trust that situation, and I've talked about it in a lot of videos, and that's where I'm willing to roll the dice on a quarterback in those early rounds, an ace quarterback, because I don't want any of those wide receivers at that range. Jalen Waddles, the Devontae Smiths, the Nico Collins, the Stephon Diggs, the DJ Moores, like out on all those guys. Give me my ace quarterback in those rounds. All right, next guy here, Derrick Henry, dude. Like this is my guy. Got him in a 2K buy-in league in the 3rd round. Love this guy. That's your man that you want to talk about. Ironclad for 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually not in on older running backs, but I got to say, Derrick Henry is built different. He is built different, and he is in basically the best situation he's ever been in his career with an elite QB1, a great offensive line, a great offense that's going to score a lot of points. And also, again, I don't like running backs that play with rushing quarterbacks because the rushing quarterbacks tend to steal the goal line work. But Lamar Jackson doesn't do that. Lamar Jackson doesn't steal the goal line work. So there's going to be opportunities for Derrick Henry when they get inside the 5. So again, it's just a great situation for him. I did a draft like a week and a half ago. I was able to get him in the 4th round. I couldn't believe he fell that far in the draft, but take advantage of that when that happens. But he's like a 2nd to 3rd round guy right now, but absolutely worth the pick. I do like him at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Derrick Henry, I mean, he doesn't really show a side, knock on wood, of regression. Last year, still finished as a top 10 running back in PPR, 280 attempts, 1,167 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. He's the guy. And in a fantasy world where running backs are becoming like the dinosaur, where they're like the sole running back, he's the guy. He's going to be the main guy. He's always the main guy, and that's what I love him. He's that rock, that horse, that workhorse you can rely on. Man, oh man. And he's again, big upgrade on the O-line, going from a Tennessee Titans O-line, where I think it was like 4th worst in, 4th worst in the league. And then now he's going to a great situation here. And, my concern as well was Lamar Jackson, but like you said, he's not as big of a threat near the goal line as like a Josh Allen or Hurts. So dude, I mean, I'm excited about him. Solid. My next guy here, which I think can actually finish ahead of Laporta and Travis Kelce, possibly, is Jake Ferguson. I got him around 5 to 6 ADP. Again, there's some variances here depending on if your tight end league is a premium. All the leagues that I'm in, tight ends are set at a premium. You get 1.5 per reception. Sitting, believe it or not, as tight end 10 on the consensus rankings. So guys like Kittle, Njoku, Pitts, Ingram, Kincaid, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride coming off ahead of him. But I think this guy, next to Kelce and maybe Laporte, like I said, is in a great situation. I mean, absolutely great situation. The Cowboys don't have a receiving running back. So you got to imagine those checkdowns, those short passes. Ferguson's there. Ferguson proved to us last year that he can and will get it done. And I've been hearing reports that he's saying straight up, I want to level up my game, because you go from him and you take a look at his year one, where he was at 22 targets. He jumped up significantly to 102 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns to 5, and his yardage 174 from his rookie year to 761. And he says that leap, he wants to make that leap again. Dude, he is a great 6'5", 240, great situation. Other than CeeDee Lamb, he is the number 2 there. So I view this situation similarly the same way I viewed Laporta, where I saw Amon-Ra and then I saw Laporta. I'm seeing the same situation here, man. Ferguson is primed. Again, no receiving back. Dude, this guy, and you're getting him for a discount. You don't have to pay a second or third round pick like a Kelce and Laporta, and you're getting a guy that's probably got a similar to a higher ceiling than those guys. I love Ferguson. He's my guy, and I called it last year with Laporta. I'm calling it again this year with Ferguson. Love, love, love him. I feel solid with him as my tight end 1. Easy, all day.
Yeah, and the other thing to talk about in regards to the Cowboys is they don't have a running game this year. I mean, they've got old man Zeke, who is well below 4 yards per carry at this point in his career. They got Rico Dowdle. They don't have any backfield. So they are going to be passing the ball a ton. I think the passing volume goes way up on this offense. And that, of course, is going to benefit someone like Ferguson. And I mean, again, he totally stepped in. Dalton Schultz, when Dalton Schultz left the team, he just stepped right into that position. They obviously focus on the tight end, throwing to the tight end. So yeah, I think it's absolutely a prime situation where he could come in and just really explode this year. So yeah, he is a bargain on the draft board. I haven't seen him around tight end 7, tight end 8, but definitely worth getting on your team this year.
All day, man. Your next guy here, which again, we have no arguments this year. You and me, we're just not arguing about because these guys are safe players. They're solid. And the next guy, Malik Neighbors. And some people have some question marks about this guy because he's coming off relatively high, round 2. Sometimes he falls to round 3. But again, you look at the other options. Would you rather have Malik Neighbors or Nico Collins? Give me Malik. Would you rather have Malik Neighbors or DJ Moore? Give me Malik. Simply because of volume and no competition. So you're the one who came up with this guy here. I want to give you my 2 cents before you got into your rant on him. I like the upside, man. And he's a great player, man. Smooth route runner, polished, and work ethic and positive attitude. Dude, I love this guy. And Daniel Jones, obviously the problem, right?
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is going to be fine. We're going to have to track that. But the fact is, this guy is a level and order of talent above everyone else on this team. Again, there's no other receivers to compete with him. He's the clear number 1. And while I see you're putting him here at round 2 to 3 ADP, I've been seeing him in the 3-4 range. He's kind of fallen. He's been falling a little bit, and I really like him there because you can get him as maybe your 3rd wide receiver if it's the 4th round and he's available as a flex play, because I think that gives him a tremendous amount of upside. And I feel that he's a lot lower risk than Marvin Harrison, who you got to take in the 2nd round. So I like that too. And yeah, I mean, they've been talking on the Giants that this guy can do what Odell Beckham did in his rookie year. I don't know if you remember that, but the guy just, exploded, does all these plays after the catch. So it's not we're asking Daniel Jones to throw the ball deep downfield. No, he can throw it to Malik behind the line of scrimmage, and Malik will just go for 80 yards. That's the kind of big play guy that he is. And so I love that upside. I love the situation just because there is no real competition for receiving other than him. He is the guy. He is the number
Yeah.
one guy. So I think yeah, sky's the limit for him. I really like him as the perfect balance of risk with upside as far as a rookie wide receiver goes.
Yeah,
So
and I understand there's a little more pep in the step with Daniel Jones this year because again, this last year they're saying they might draft somebody and it kind of lit a fire under him. So yeah, if that's the case, man, this could be a special situation. They're just based on sheer volume. And again, why are you so afraid, right? Like his second, I mean, I see him coming off second round. You're saying third, he might fall third. Why are you scared taking him? I mean, if you guys are taking Jefferson round one with Sam Darnold starting, I talked to about Tim about this on the news. I heard there was like a 10% chance that JJ McCarthy starts, they're saying, and that they got to work him up and level McCarthy up till he's ready. So Sam Darnold with a Jefferson, give me Malik Neighbors at a discount 2 rounds later with Daniel Jones, who's been in the league for several years. Like, you know, you take Darnold, Daniel Jones, and Malik Neighbors is extremely talented. So tons of upside there. All right, let's go on to the next guy here. I love this guy. I got him in all my leagues, Jim. Lad McConkey, round 7 ADP. Give or take, this guy can come off earlier, can come off later. If you look at the ADP rankings, he looks like he's coming off later, but he's getting drafted a lot earlier. Dude, love this guy for many reasons. I'll give you one right now. Austin Eckler's gone. They've got no running back for the checkdowns. If Gus Bus is your starter, you know, I don't know, man. Those targets have to go. He likes to check down. McConkey's that slot guy. From what I hear, he's playing in the slot. He can go to the outside. He can go over the top. He can stretch the field, but typically really well in the slot. He's going to be getting a lot of volume. He's going to be a PPR monster. Kind of reminds me of a Wes Welker type player. I remember him in fantasy. He was a stud. Go back, check his numbers. He was good for several years there. But Lad McConkey, man, love the talent, love the upside. They got Brendan Rice, who was drafted in the 7th round. There could be something there. Palmer's not it. And Quentin Johnson, they just don't like that guy. They don't like him. And he wasn't that good. He had brick for hands. I keep talking about this. Lad McConkey, someone's got to catch the ball from a guy who throws the ball pretty much more than anybody else in the league. So when you look at Justin Herbert's numbers, like his attempts were down last year, but this guy throws the ball a lot. Justin Herbert was down significantly. He was 16th in pass attempts, 456. But a typical year for Herbert, man, he was a top guy when it came to attempts. Let me check the year before based on attempts. Herbert was number 2 in attempts back in 2022, only second to Brady with 699 passing attempts in 2022. This guy throws a lot. Last year was a bit of a disaster. I don't know what happened. He was just force-feeding Keenan
injuries
Allen.
happened. That's what happened.
Yeah. Mike Williams was out. You know, Eckler sucked. It's just, dude, McConkey, I just feel safe, especially where you're getting him. It's like, I look at him like this, okay? I'm getting a guy who's going to be better than Keenan Allen in round 7. That's the way I'm thinking about it, right? And you're getting a wide receiver 1 for free, you know, instead of getting a Nico Collins round 2 or a DJ Moore round 3, who are in a major target share situation where it's a completely diluted volume situation. Lad McConkey, man, oh man. I love this guy. I love the upside here, dude. And a bounce back year for Herbert as we get criticism, dude. Love it.
Yeah, I was checking my allocations in all the best ball drafts I've done, and I've probably done about 20 plus drafts at this point. And Lad McConkey is one of my top 5 picks. I have him in, I don't know, something like 70% of my leagues. I've got Lad McConkey on my roster. So I am in on him as well.
Yeah.
He is a very exciting player. You know, this team got rid of like 85% of their passing targets from last year are no longer on the team. So it's wide open.
And Eckler, Williams, friggin' Allen, gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. Yeah. So someone's got to take over. And really the guys that are still on the team, you know, Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer, I don't see any of them becoming like the number 1 target. There's no path. I don't see a big path. I kind of like Quentin Johnson. He does rate pretty well on the app, so and he's a guy you can get much later. But I really like the upside of Lamakonki. He's playing a perfect space on the field to play to the kind of scheme that they're going to be running with this offense, which is going to be more run first oriented. But I think, again, it is just an excellent situation. He's playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. There's nothing but sunshine and roses for this guy. So I'm in on him as well.
You heard my thoughts. And the last guy here, your guy, Jaden Daniels. What's the thought process here? I love the upside. What is, I got him listed and there's a asterisk here, backup only.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have the guts to take him as my QB1, but he is the latest. He is the latest quarterback, the last quarterback you can get with that high rushing upside. Okay, so he's going after, of course, the elites. The Hurts and Allen and Lamar, and he's after Kyler Murray and where he's at the draft, which is after pick 100. Right now, I got his ADP at about 108. Is just a perfect position to grab your QB2. And so this guy, again, what's his rushing upside? I don't know. Let's just say probably about 700 yards. Let me see what I have for my projections here. I've got 577 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. I think that's kind of his floor. I think he's probably going to do more along the lines of 700 rushing yards. And rushing yards are so valuable when it comes to fantasy football. It's like a cheat code. 500 rushing yards is the same as 1,250 passing yards. 6 rushing touchdowns is the same as 9 passing touchdowns. So that's why these guys do so good. That's why the rushing quarterbacks are always at the top of the list every single year. And this is a guy that you take him as your QB2, but he could very, very easily just become the guy you start every week. So just for that, I like him, and I'm very excited about what he can bring to the Washington Commanders this year. So
bonus sleeper here for you if you guys stay to the end. Ben Sinnott. Oh man, this guy could be a safety blanket for Jaden Daniels. And if you go back and watch some tape on Jaden Daniels, the guy looks outstanding. How that'll translate in the NFL is still yet to be seen. But I'm just super excited about this year, Jim. I got so many question marks, so many situations I want to watch. Just getting to week 1. Like just to get to week 1 and to be able to watch, how that Chargers offense is going to function and how the Commanders, offense is going to function, how Derrick Henry is going to look. I love the first week and maybe even up to the first 3 to 4 weeks because you get a real sense of how much volume is Bijan going to get week 1? Is Travis Kelce up to speed? Is he going to start looking like the old Kelce? Breece Hall, does Braylon Allen take a punch there? On the first drive, does Montgomery come out on the first drive or is it going to be Jahmyr Gibbs? CJ Stroud, how does he look with his new offense? Dude, so many question marks. That's what makes fantasy and watching the NFL so exciting because of these changes, because of everything that's happening in the offseason, how that's going to translate on the field. Dude, I'm so excited about this season. I don't think I've ever been excited about a season like this one. There's something about this season. So many rookies, so much going on, man. It's just wild.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And it's not even that long until the games start, right? I mean, we're like less than 100 days from the start of the season. So, I can't wait. Training camp opens soon at the end of end of July is usually when it starts up. So we got that coming up. But I'm excited to see what happens with these guys. But all the ones we're talking about today, I'm in on. I think they're all going to be fantastic. So they are definitely on my target list. And by the way, Ben Sinnott, I did get him in this high stakes best ball league that I'm doing, a tight end premium best ball league. And I got him in I think I took him in the 11th round. So I love that. That was great. So
nice. So those are some must-have fantasy football players for 2022 that are in great situations. If you guys like the channel, like the content, we're here every morning at 7 a.m. Smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up, and go grab 68 rounds right now. Use code SMASH to save. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everybody. Have yourself a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. We'll talk soon,
guys.
Thank
you, Counselor. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Jim. We're out.